And that's the truth. We weren't out killing people on the streets. You come into our neighborhood, we're Dubai in our neighborhoods. You don't worry about crime. Nobody's going to bother you in our neighborhood unless it's us. You did something wrong. Other than that, you don't have anything to worry about. Okay, so we're not out there killing innocent people. We're not beating innocent people up on the street. That's all nonsense. Did it happen on occasion? Yeah, because you had some dummies in that life like anything else. But was that the rule? No, it was the exception. So Frank Costello to me was the epitome. Carlo Gambino ran his family to the biggest, most powerful family in this country for 20 years. Yeah. Never even went to jail. Died in his home. Smart guys. That's how the life was supposed to be. John Gotti, personally, I like John. Wasn't a good boss. You don't throw your chest out to the government and bring, you bring attraction to the life. So.
Why did you like John? Because John was obnoxious. He was hard to deal with. He was hard to negotiate with. He was an egomaniac, narcissist. What is it that you liked about him?
Socially, he was a lot of fun. You go out to a bar, you drink, you have a lot of fun with him. Down to earth. I guess the first time I met John Gotti was at his son's funeral when his son Frankie got killed.
Car accident.
Yeah, and I saw a different side of him that day. He brought me on the side and we were talking a little bit. He said, I have a lot of respect for your father. We were in the funeral home when we were talking, just me and him for a little bit. And I saw a sensitive side of John that I never forgot. I had run-ins with him after that. He was a nightmare to deal with in business. Narcissistic, he'd never lose an argument. You had to really know how to deal with him. But socially, he was good. And I guess I got that impression of him that never left. And I felt bad for him. I mean, he was, for John, he was broken that night. You've seen it, So maybe that's why I say I liked him. And I like his family. Got a good family.
Did you ever witness or see high-profile celebrities or politicians that dealt directly with the mafia who haven't been publicly exposed yet?
Publicly exposed?
Yeah.
I think most of them are known. I mean, Jimmy Kahn, everybody knew he was involved with us. Lenny Montana played Luca Brasi, good friend of mine. He was hooked up. Look, we knew a lot of guys. I mean, Sinatra, come on.
Well, I was going to ask you about Sinatra because everybody says the mafia controlled Sinatra, or in a way of, was he controlled by them?
No.
No.
No, he wasn't paying us. He didn't.
Okay.
But hey, Frank, Italian American Civil Rights League, we're having a big performance. We need you to come. He's not going to say no.
Okay.
He comes.
Okay.
Right? We take money out of his pocket? No.
Did you put money in his pocket?
Look, my dad owned a place called the San Susano. It was a big nightclub online. My dad was in jail, and so I took over, right? And they were paying me, and I was a partner in the place. Silent. Frank Sinatra Jr. is coming to play there, right? No tickets are being sold. So they called me up. Michael, we need help. We need to fill the place. Put the word out. Need everybody there. 2 nights in a row, fill the place. So yeah, we filled it. We did him that favor. He in turn would do a favor for us. It was that way. But it wasn't, hey, we controlled him. You do what I say. You're going to do this. No.
No,
it wasn't that way. No. He knew he knew who he had to show respect to.
And I saw that video recently where Sammy the Bull Gravano wanted to go and get Trump. But then last minute they said, look, let's just leave that alone because it's too connected with the government.
I mean, I can't verify that, but Sammy's saying it, so I'm sure it could have happened.
How often do you speak to Sammy?
I'm going to be doing... He called me up and asked me to do a live thing with him, and probably next week or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to him.
Okay.
I like his family a lot. Sammy, if you know Sammy, when he's not on camera, he's not social media, he's a different guy.
Yeah.
In many ways, Listen, he became a person of faith, and I believe it's genuine. Yeah.
Don't you think it's so funny that what you guys used to do and now you get on camera and talk?
It's sometimes am I really doing this? I mean, still.
Yeah.
Still, because it's like so out of character.
Yeah. When you speak to Sammy, do you get nostalgia feelings from your previous life?
Yeah. There's still a little part of us that's in that life, but I think in a good way. I don't think in a bad way. We're not going to do some of the things that we did before, but some of the principle that we had is still in us, and we still maintain that. That feeling of family, the brotherhood aspect of it. When you ask me what I miss about that life, was it, the plane and the helicopter and all of that? I don't view that. It wasn't part of the life. Those were toys that I had. You can have them now. But it's that brotherhood, that camaraderie among the guys. Look, there's nothing more powerful than I got your back, you got mine. You know this. It's very powerful when guys, I think other than marriage, there's nothing more powerful than guys having one another's back in this brotherhood. And so I miss that. I miss the good times. But, you know, I say I've been blessed because now I have this fellowship with guys of my faith. We don't do the same things together that we did back then, but we still have that relationship, and it's cool.
That nostalgia feeling that you get when you speak to Sammy, is that a positive feeling? Do you feel like home? Does it remind you of your childhood? What feelings do you get?
Yeah, it is a nostalgic feeling.
Okay.
When we chat about, you know, the way things used to be in some ways, we talk about the good parts mainly.
Do you guys ever get into an argument, just you and him? Never arguments, no.
No. I mean, look, we started off on the wrong foot. You know, I said some things that were not right. And I explained to Sam, you know, I once said on camera, and I'll say it again, that on his worst day, John Gotti was a better person than Sammy. And I said that early on. And the reason is when I would go back and visit my father, you know, there were unkind things said about Sammy, and I had that in my head. And I didn't really know Sammy. Didn't really know him. But then when I got to meet him, I said, you know, that was the wrong thing to say because I didn't know the whole circumstance. And Sammy said some things about me, and he had that opinion, an impression. And then when we came to know each other, we both said, you know, we shouldn't have said that. It was wrong. And now we understand that. Yeah, when I talk to him, I enjoy my conversations with Sammy. I love his son. His son would call me up. He says, yeah, my dad's being difficult. How can I deal with it? I tease Sammy. I said, Sammy, I'm taking your son with me. He's not with you. He's with me now, you know. We talk like that. His daughter, Karen, I had her on my podcast, one of the best interviews ever. Totally honest, you know, and she said things that I related to, both having fathers in that life, you know, a little different circumstances, but she was very honest about it. She was a terrific, terrific interview. And so I really like his family. So, you know, and people, oh, Michael, Sammy's this and Sammy's that. I said, well, you say the same thing about me. Don't tell me who to like and not like.